Hey everybody, thank you for watching. How are you today, tonight, whenever you're watching this particular thing? It's called Harris After Dark. Sometimes we don't know why. And it's dark where I am. Jim McCormick, is it dark where you are?
Yeah, it's increasingly dark. We lost to the Cowboys. Terrible week. Go Birds.
You're dark just in general. You're very
Yeah.
tormented, I would say, twisted inside,
Yeah.
extremely deep.
Yeah.
That's how I
It's
would
like a Tim
describe
Burton
Jim
movie
McCormick.
in here, you know?
Before we get going, since I'm not going to have you on the audio only podcast before it happens, can we get excited for a moment about the Jeff George Blanda and what happened last week?
I made the finals. I was able to get by Andy Barron's Flaming Moe's. I just want to thank Evan Ingram for somehow being the best, and Jerick McKinnon for being my two best players. Particularly Jerick McKinnon, who I've noted is not a very good football player, and is probably my second most important player. So, yeah.
Well, there you go. And in the finals. This is the League of American Recreational Gridiron Enthusiasts, large as we like to call it, a 16-team league that Jim's been in for like 5 or 6 years, right?
Yeah,
Six
yeah.
or seven,
Yeah,
something like that.
a good amount.
First trip to the finals, and you're facing Rhett Miller, international superstar.
It's true.
Most recently seen in the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. He's got like a big acting role in that thing. He's also like a superstar musician and a really nice guy. And now that Barron's is out, I say I am the let them fight meme. I say go ahead.
I got a really nice email from Rhett. I think I can share this. He mentioned that the Cowboys won, which wasn't very nice. But he did say that no matter who wins this week, he's in Jamaica the whole week, so that he kind of wins. So, like,
oh baby,
yeah.
Well, when you're a world-renowned superstar like Rhett Miller,
I told him I might go to Detroit or something fancy. So,
I mean, Dave Piper's not in
Cleveland,
Detroit, but he's in Michigan. No, he's in Michigan.
No, I'm saying these are my options. I'm saying.
Oh, these are your options. Okay, I get it. I mean, you could take the. How old are your children?
Riviera, like just to take a boat.
How old are your children?
4 and 6.
4 and 6 and 4. Yeah. Perfect for New Year's Eve in Cleveland outside.
Rust Belt, yeah.
Let's do it. So our job here is to be funny about NFL games and incidentally also pick them. And last week, you had uncharacteristically didn't have a very good week, and I had about the same week I always have. I went 6-8. You went 6-10. You did get your best bet correct. I did not. That was a bummer. Our best bet at this point has become a running joke. And I was thinking that for the playoffs, maybe like we should just let Dave Piper listen to us talk about the games, and then he can pick the ones that he thinks we're most convicted that we're right. I don't think that might work.
That might do better than what we're doing.
Almost anything would. Almost anything would. Okay, so we're doing Week 17 action. We're going to start with a Thursday night game. It's a very big point spread, a road favorite, a 12-point, as of our recording this, road favorite. The Cowboys are visiting the Titans, who have pretty much declared their intentions that they have no interest in winning this game. Derrick Henry, we're told, is doubtful, and I think this video probably comes out on the day of that game. So it's 12 that you have to give if you want the road team. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, the Titans are pulling the plug, like you said. The frat party's over. No more fights at the frat party. Whatever. I mean, it's not more. They're more of like a rugby scrum. There's more respect. It's a Vrabel thing, you know. He tells you he's going to punch you, but he's going to punch you. But Derrick Henry, like you said, no dice. Ryan Tannehill not playing more than likely, right? So it's going to be. I don't know, what is this going to be?
Malik Willis and Hassan Haskins. It's going to be the Senior Bowl, baby.
I mean, Ryan Tannehill does look like a late 80s Sears catalog model, but like that's all they had going for them before this. And now they don't even have that. So, Dallas is good. I resent that fact, but they're good. And I had this at 13, so it's going to cover. So, yeah.
I had it at 14, so I'm also on the Cowboys. I think you're engaging in a little like, the Cowboys are good now. The Cowboys are good, so it's okay that the Eagles kind of peed down their own leg. We'll get to them.
They did. No, yeah, the Cowboys. It was unforced errors. Just a ton of terrible.
Yeah, it really was.
Those fumbles weren't like Parsons gets all this credit. It was just terrible ball security. So
all right, we're not talking about that team yet, Joe.
I know.
Stop your talking.
Dallas is good. Dallas is okay.
The Eagles just might not be that good without Jalen Hurts. All right, we're going to get to the Sunday early games first here. We've got the Cardinals. We got the Falcons. These teams both have cities that start with A. That's actually not true because it's Arizona, not
birds. Both birds. Both
Phoenix or
birds.
Glendale or something.
Yeah.
The birds of the A's, the Falcons are favored by 3.5 points.
Yeah, I feel like this is the week where Kingsbury just orders all the apps for the team. Just like they gave up. You know what I mean? They're at Chili's. They don't care.
I don't know what you mean.
I just mean like the corporate card. Cliff Kingsbury looks like he'll never be a head coach again, right?
I agree. I mean in college. He will be in college, not in the NFL.
Well, that's NFL, but he does know how to wear tight shirts. And he probably has a couple Ferraris. And Arthur Smith would look ridiculous in a Ferrari and a tight shirt. That said, he's a much better football coach. So I'm going to give the points. So, yeah.
Giving the points. I'm gonna say Colt McCoy comes back, rallies the troops, makes Jim McCormick just feel sad inside, deep in his heart.
Yep.
And whoever that quarterback is in Atlanta, do
Riddler.
we know who's that
The
guy?
Riddler.
Desmond the Riddler.
The Riddler. Yeah.
He was bad. I will say, like, he was really bad 2 weeks ago. He's better against Baltimore. He wasn't nearly as bad. I'm gonna take the points here. I'm gonna go plus 3.5 Arizona. In cases like this, boy,
they're both bad.
I'd rather this.
Yeah.
I just like they suck. They both suck. So like I'll just take points because maybe they'll play a close game.
But it feels like summer camp's over in Arizona, whereas like Atlanta at least feels like these guys have to be accountable to the staff. Like I think.
Okay, that's fair, but do you think accountability is the reason that teams succeed and don't succeed?
I mean, when JJ Watt is like not working out anymore, I think the whole team is just like, what's going on here?
I don't know.
He's not even taking HGH anymore. It's getting crazy.
Yeah, I think the whole idea that some teams try and other teams don't try. If you went on an NFL field and didn't try, you'd be dead in 5 seconds. Not just you, anyone.
Right, but there is such thing. I just think as when the steam comes out of a team, like I just think, and not that the team ever had steam, but I just think the threat of being
next on pardon the interruption, we'll talk about who in the NBA really loves their coach.
Who?
It's not the 76ers, by the way. It's still not the 76ers.
Nope.
All right, so we're on the opposite sides of that game. We'll get to the rest of the games in a second. Let's thank the sponsor, DraftKings, because they've sponsored this show all year. I think a lot of people have really liked it. We used to do this show as a podcast only, Jim, and people couldn't see our stupid faces as we made picks. It's much more embarrassing to have your face associated with bad picks, but it's not embarrassing to be associated with DraftKings. How's that for a seg? I wish I lived in a state where I could partake in the sports book on DraftKings. You guys both can. You and Dave Pyper both can, and that makes me mad and sad and envious because it's cool. They've got this deal going right now where if you make a $5 straight up bet, not a point spread, just pick a winner in any of these games this weekend or any bowl game, whatever you want, one bet, $5. If you get it right, if you get the winner, they'll give you $150 in free bets to play around with on the site. You can't withdraw it immediately because they're not minting money, but they are letting you play with it, and then eventually, as you play with it, becomes your money to cash out if you wish. All we ask is that if you sign up using get the DraftKings Sportsbook app, please sign up using the code HarrisTube, because if they see that means they go, hey, sponsoring those two dum-dums who pick NFL games pretty poorly was a worthwhile thing. So we would love it if you would use that code HarrisTube. Remember to do that $5 bet. I mean, that's the first thing you should do. Download the app, do that $5 bet, win that $150, pick the Cowboys to win, right? Pick an easy one. And then you'll have it. And there you go. So DraftKings, we love you. Please continue to sponsor our show. And we should note that we always ask people to give their best bet of the week down in the comments, and we try to pick a winner. And every week there's been at least one winner who's gotten one right. This one was Ty Webb, who I don't think that's really his name, Jim. I don't think his name is really Ty Webb.
He played the front nine with the Dalai Lama once, so I think so.
That's what I heard. No. He follows me on Twitter also, and he has Chevy Chase in Caddyshack as his avatar, and so I just don't think that's his real name, but he's really funny, and he also got it right. His best bet was the Chargers last week, and I abstained from that game, but correct. Way to go, Ty. We're going to ask you at the end of the show to leave your best bet down in the comments. We love seeing it. Dave Pyper looks at all of them. All right, Jim, let's get going. Stupid Patriots continue to be stupid. And they and like I just don't care. I'm emotionally detached completely. Like I am numb. You could prick me with like a knitting needle in the eye. I'd be like, I wouldn't feel it. They are hosting the Dolphins. There's no Tua for the Dolphins in this game, and the Patriots are 3-point favorites. That little giggle tells you where I'm going.
Yeah, big life choice there that Teddy made. If he was Theodore Bridgewater, he'd be like a Wes Anderson character. You know what I mean? Like Teddy Bridgewater is a much better name. It led to his success, and I'm not trying to be anti-Tua here. There's a huge drop off, but I still just think this is the better roster, Miami. So yeah.
The line makes no sense, Jim.
No.
I'm not going to make it my best bet because we've all been wrong on Miami. We keep picking Miami against the spread over and over and over. We'll keep being wrong. But like they were going to win that game if Tua doesn't get concussed last week. They're killing the Packers at halftime, and then nobody knew Tua was concussed. And I will say, like, I'm as willing to accuse an NFL franchise of being cutthroat and merciless and horrible as anybody on the planet. I believe I have a decades-long now public record of being able and willing to call out NFL teams for being a-holes. I don't. I watched that game. I mean, he threw interceptions, but like I saw him live bang his head on the back of his head on the turf. Like if he's not staggering and he's not slurring and he seems to understand what people are saying, like. Come on. I think there's it's way too easy to throw blame around in this case. And he shouldn't play again. Probably the whole year he shouldn't play again. But I'm not too mad at them for that. But I just Patriots suck.
They
suck.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I just don't see obviously I just don't see the huge problem here. Like meaning why I'd be running away from Miami for this reason. Like I still think it's a big drop off, but they're still good. So
yeah. And Bridgewater didn't win games when he was in there, but he did amass some stats and didn't
get it in their hands.
Wasn't his right. It wasn't his fault that they lost. And he himself got concussed in the middle of his two starts. All right, you get to unload now. I'm just going to step back from the microphone. It's the Eagles. They probably don't have Jalen Hurts again. My voice is getting softer because I'm getting further away from the microphone. They're hosting the Saints.
Yeah, you know what the biggest problem last week was? Yeah, it did. My uncle at Christmas was doing a Skype with God bless my aunt, she had COVID. But they were doing a Skype on the big TV during the Eagles game. We had to watch the kitchen. We were watching on the little kitchen TV. We really were. It was terrible. But I just want to say that...
it wasn't a bit.
Yeah, terrible. My actual cousin, Rocco Carzo, was screaming. It was great. But yeah, no, the Eagles... ruined Christmas, but Andy Dalton's coming to town, and he's gonna make everything better. He's like a direct deposit for just joy for the other people, which kind of sounds like kind of sexual, which is not what I'm saying. And I'm gonna give the points. The Eagles are gonna kill them. So
we didn't even say what it is. It's 5.5 as of our recording. I had it at 7. I think the Eagles are also going to kill the Saints. The Colts, boy, Nick Foles. I mean, I'll tell you what, dude. I've told you this in private many times. I probably have never said it on any show that we've appeared on together. You can't find a more sensy fan base than the Eagles. You cannot find. I hear from them all. Every fan base has problem children. Every fan base has like, oh yeah, well what about this? Every single Eagle fan except you is this way. If you say anything about Nick Foles bad ever, they're like, yeah, but.
Yeah,
I did a thing where
he's terrible.
I did the Carson Wentz thing. Like, he's not the worst number 2 pick of all time, but he shouldn't have been taken number 2 overall. We all can kind of agree on that now, right? And every Eagle fan was like, no, we cannot. People not following me. People I don't know where they even found the tweet. Do they have a search, like an auto search on Carson Wentz's name on Twitter?
Yep.
Dude, you have to speak for your people.
It's like a Tesla chip that you can get now that just directly downloads sports radio gripes to your brain. Yeah, there's some issues here. There's some issues. I mean, but see, I like the irony. I like it. Look at the other way that there's a statue of Nick Foles and Doug Peterson outside, and like the one of them got fired 2 years later, and the other one is just like makes Jeff Hostetler look like Joe Montana. Like,
I mean. Like, do we need any more proof? Like, people go, why can't Brock Purdy be? Well, he could. Yeah. He could, but you just can't tell. It's just not possible to tell in this short a period of time because people can have a couple of good games. Sure. I mean, people were trying to tell me that the Dum Dum in DC was good. Right. And now he's benched for Carson Wentz. Right. Taylor Heineke, that is. All right. So anyway, Nick Foles, and I guess it's still Nick Foles. Is it still Nick Foles? I don't think we know as of our recording.
It is.
He's going to the Giants, and the Giants are favored by not enough. I mean, 7,000.
You lose a locker room when you move off Nick Foles. You know what I mean? Like, there's only so many times you can change a quarterback in Indianapolis. I mean, Not really. I can't. I don't care. But the Giants shouldn't be 6-point favorites, but also Nick Foles shouldn't be a quarterback. So that's my conundrum. I just can't give this many points in a game that I think is going to be like very kicky and turnovery and tight. So I'm going to take the points, but I don't like it at all. Like, this is a gross game. So. Yeah.
So you're on the Colts. You're on Foles. You're just one more Philly fan who's apologizing for Nick Foles.
It's probably more Jeff Saturday. It's strategy gap.
I'm actually a no play. I had it at 6, so I'm gonna leave it alone. Because God, I agree with you that the Giants don't deserve to be 6-point favorites over anybody. A big game in a terrible division. The Panthers coming off a surprising to us victory over the Lions. They crushed them. They ran all over them. They go to Tampa. This will, I think, in all likelihood, decide the NFC South. I think there's a chance if the Panthers win, they could still screw it up. But let's just say, for the sake of,
it would be the Saints the following week. So I think it's pretty good. This is it, I think. So
right. So the Buccaneers are 3-point favorites at home.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, I have it's week 17. I have to just say that Tampa Bay's been bad and stop thinking about what they've been. And the Panthers have been good. It's not really Sam Darnold. He doesn't have anything really to do with this. It's just they're playing better football, and they beat them really badly last time. I'm going to go with just what I've been watching this year, and I'm going to take the points. I
am too. I'm taking the points. I don't think it's outrageous. I said it at 2. I think it's probably in a neutral field. It's probably about even. They say now home field is down to 1.5 or 2. So I'm not telling anybody that Carolina's a world beater. And when Tampa gets against a real team in the playoffs, if they get there, which we're saying they might not, they're going to get their doors blown off, and Tom Brady's going to be on a horse.
Right? Are we being silly for not caring about the Brady thing? That he's just the better guy here?
He's not the better guy until the last 2 minutes of the game.
Right.
The bottom line is it's a completely broken offensive line. Absolutely, completely broken. And they're maybe getting the center back. They activated him, right? So he might be back. Maybe that makes a difference. Probably not enough. The timing in Brady's head is completely screwed up. I don't want to just blame the offensive line because he himself, that, if anybody watched that Arizona game, come on, he missed throws. He threw stupid interceptions, but he's just completely messed up because he doesn't know when and where the pressure's coming from. He doesn't trust it at all. And possibly, I don't want to make perpetual excuses for the guy. It's possible that the cliff is here. This is what it looks like. You can be good for a few throws, but then not. Yeah. Sure. I mean, if it comes down to it and it's a tie game and there's 5 minutes left and it's Sam Darnold against Tom Brady, I think we know who we're picking. But I'm of the opinion it might not be.
To get to there, right? To get to that point. Right.
I'm of the opinion it might not be. Okay, the Broncos did what the Broncos needed to do. They put their coach out of his misery. He's living in a farm upstate. And the coachless Broncos, I think the guy who's going to be their head coach is the one who was counting timeouts. I'm not even kidding. I think that's true. In the booth. I think that's actually true. I could be wrong. People down in the comments, go ahead, let me have it. But I think that's right.
Yeah, the director of nut butters, I believe, was his other job, almond butter, macadamia,
That's right. They didn't let him do butter. That's another pay grade. That's
Russ has a guy churning in the back. It's a whole.
Right, and that guy and our new coach does not deal with that. That's high level stuff.
Yes.
Anyway, Chiefs, 13-point favorites at home against the Denver Broncos, who. Last week, absolutely quit. That defense absolutely quit. We had a conversation already in this show 15 minutes ago about teams not being able to quit or dying. That's as close to quitting as you can get.
Yeah, they're there. I mean, is there a post-firing morale boost? I don't know. I mean, I don't think Hackett was some evil. I don't know if the room changes as much
it's not you're not saying it's a relief, right?
This isn't when Chip, getting rid of a Chip Kelly type character or one of these narcissists, or an Urban Meyer, who when they're gone, you're wow, the room is much better. This is not a Glade plug-in firing, which smell disgusting. I don't know what I'm talking about, but also, Russ got everybody wet Subway sandwiches for Christmas. That did not.
Wait, hold on, Jim. I'm being told that we have 2 new sponsors, Glade and Subway. Go back to you.
What Subway sandwiches are good? I'm just saying they had ranch dressing, wilted lettuce, processed chicken. It's really good.
You've been in the ESPN green room. Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just Italian dressing everywhere. I am going to give the points. I think this is this line is a reflection of what should have happened last time. There was that strange comeback that Russ mounted. Yeah. I think. But people forget that they required that comeback. They were up 35-7 or something. So I just think that's actually how this goes. So I'm going to give the points.
I can't I can't explain last week. I can't explain making Baker Mayfield look like somewhere Dave Pyper, I'm sure, was throwing things, having Baker Mayfield having another day in the sun. I can't explain it, but it's not a bad defense. You watch the defenses closer than I do. It's not a bad defense. I don't understand what happened. The personnel is still good. You're right. Some of this may be just about effort, and it's tough to know that beforehand. I wouldn't probably play this game with my own money, but I think I'm on Denver. 13 points is just so much. And points. I know I said the same thing last week against Seattle and it didn't work, but I think, 13 points is just a lot of points. So
I might play Russ in large, so it's getting weird. So
oh baby, what's your other option?
Deshaun. Like, what?
Oh my God. You're in the finals.
And Andy Dalton. Those are my three options. So
you were 7-6, and that's not even. I won the league last year. I won the finals last year, going 6-7 in the regular season. So there you go. Large can have some variation in the playoffs. That's what happens when a league is really, really, really deep, I suppose. Okay, let's move on to the Bears going to Dave Piper's home state of Michigan, and the Lions are coming off a truly head-scratching effort. It's funny, Jared Goff had a really good fantasy week because they were down 100-0, and he wound up throwing 3 touchdowns to some dude who, as I said on the podcast, if you were drafting in a players whose last names start with Z only league, Shane Zylstra still wouldn't have gotten drafted. No, it would have been Bailey Zappi, and then you would have walked away.
He's a waiver.
Yeah. The line as of our recording this is Lions -6.
Yeah. I had it -7, so I'm going to go with Detroit. I just think Chicago's defense is so bad. They're so bad. They're so bad. And
how do you explain halftime in that Bills game? I mean, I got it wrong. I thought it was too many points on the road for the Bills, but the Bears are winning that game at the half.
I know. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I think the Bills were playing. The Bills were also running. Like, in the wind, they just were running the whole time, too. They weren't even passing. Diggs had 2 catches or 2 passes? Like, I don't know.
Allen threw interceptions in key spots in the first half.
Yeah.
I don't know. This comes down to, are the Lions good? Are the Lions the kind of team that should be, even against a non-playoff opponent, that should be having to give 6 points? Like,
counterpoint is this is their Super Bowl. That's is their Super Bowl.
Back to you, Wilbon.
This is it. This is actually their Super Bowl. No, like, they are gonna have like confetti and stuff. Like, this is it.
I guess. Are they gonna do chocolate-filled Lombardi trophies?
It's the battle of the Midwest Middlers. Like whoever wins is the least worst. So yes.
I mean, I think the Lions probably win the game, but
I think they might.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they just go for it.
You think they're going to kill him? All right, I'm going to take the Bears. I'm going to take the Bears. I'm going to take the points. I guess it's my lingering suspicion that the Lions have been frauds all along. Cleveland goes to D.C. The Browns' defense is actually really good, and I know it was helped along by, first of all, a ridiculous scoring output like a month ago or so. All their numbers are screwed up, but also and it was cold last week, but they played really well. The Commanders are 2-point favorites, trying to cling to their playoff lives.
Yeah, I mean, they made Taysom Hill look normal, like he could do stuff, which is just unacceptable. I'm gonna give the points here. I know Wentz is probably playing. Who cares? He got everybody duck hormone spray for Christmas. But the Browns just seem like a bad team to me. Particularly, no one's talking about it. I literally am on ESPN right now. People are talking about it. Deshaun's playing terribly, but he's playing like bad. And I'm scared to use him in large, and I'm scared to ride him with any bets because he's like tanked the whole offense. So
yeah, I think Nick Chubb. He's obviously carrying it a ton, and it seems like Stefanski has pretty much decided. Whatever Deshaun is going to be, it's not going to be this year.
This year, right. It's on pause.
I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him for a whole summer. I'm going to get him for a whole offseason. I'm going to get him doing Deshaun-like things. He's not doing any Deshaun-like things.
It's a big magic trick. It's a big reveal.
Nobody likes the guy, but he's a really, really good player. I don't know how you turn into such a bad player, such a non-trying player. I mentioned Bailey Zappi before. It's like watching Bailey Zappi as a quarterback. Like, okay, cool. All you're calling is 4-yard outs to Donovan
That's all it is.
Jones.
Everything's underneath.
Yeah.
It's just,
So I'm with you. I'm going to be on the Commanders. I'm scared to death of Carson Wentz. But I do think the Browns defense is good, but I think the fact that the Browns defense is good is why this is 2 points, right? Because nobody fears that Browns offense. Do you agree? Do you think the Browns defense has played well?
Well, they've woken up. I think like some
Yeah.
of the marquee guys, like the safeties that they paid, like Johnson and stuff like that, they're actually like playing football now. Like I
Right.
don't know what changed, honestly, schematically, but they're playing better.
Could it be that they're motivated now?
I think that's what it is that they care.
Yeah,
They care.
more than they did before.
Their
I'm
meter
sure that's
went
what
up.
it is.
Yeah, it's like they
That's
adjusted
right.
it. Madden.
All right, the Jags didn't make us look genius-like against the Jets, I don't believe, because they pretty much killed them, and that was a Zach Wilson thing. They're going to Houston. There's no Zach Wilson on that other sideline, baby. It's Davis Mills all the way. I'm being told it's the same thing. On the road, the Jags are 4.5-point favorites.
Houston is watching J.J. Watt highlights all week. That's all they're allowed to do.
Wow.
And
Did he used to be on that team?
And all-inclusive packages they're looking at.
Wow.
The Jaguars are watching Nick Foles highlights. And
say that team name again. It's just like
Jaguars.
Oh, say it again.
And Doug Peterson. This is my second mention of this, but Doug Peterson does have good HGH, and I think the Jaguars are going to win. So I saw it happen. That's how we won a Super Bowl. Growth hormones minus 4.
You heard it here first. The Jags are winning the Super Bowl this year. That's Jim McCormick's guarantee to you.
Dark horse. Horse hormones is what I meant.
Go make that bet right now. I'm also on the Jags. Houston obviously showed up against Tennessee. They weren't playing against the good, the better, the okay quarterback. But Derrick Henry was there, and I was on Houston, and I believe that came through. And I don't think this is a blowout. I don't think the Jags have earned the right to be massive favorites on the road, but I had it a 0.5 point higher for the Jags, so I will be with you there. A battle of L.A. here in the City of Angels, the city I live in, lonely as I am, together we cry, I guess. I think that's the way the thing goes. Did you know John Frusciante is the beating heart of the Red Hot Chili Peppers? It's a shout out to Glass Onion, to Ed Norton's character. Nobody cares about this game here. That's for sure.
No.
The Chargers probably don't care. They've already wrapped up a playoff spot. The Rams seemed to care last week against the Broncos. They did actually seem to care. The Chargers, there is no home team. They are 6.5 point favorites.
The home field advantage is at least 6 points in this one. So I think this would be a 0.5 point on a neutral field. Yeah, I mean, Baker is like 4 feet shorter and would look absurd with long hair. So I'm going to give the points. Chargers.
That does follow. Yeah, that does follow. The fact that the quarterback would look absurd with long hair definitely means you take.
And he's down here, like team. he's Baker's here. He's just below the table. That's how short he is. So it's
wow.
That's weird. I don't know. I keep saying weird stuff.
Did they put him on a milk crate in those commercials?
He would like to be back in commercials. Is kind of why he's playing better. So
yeah, they don't run those too much anymore, do they? No. Okay, so I'm with you, Chargers, minus 6.5. The 49ers, and we get to talk about Derek Carr. They travel to Las Vegas, and Derek Carr is now the late Derek Carr. His final pass, I have tweeted it out at Harris Football, was that last interception on which Hunter Renfrow was wide open with 30 seconds left in the game, and he decided to step up and float it up there and get it intercepted. His third of the game. He has now been benched. Not only has he been benched, Jim, he's taken his vaguely, weirdly, like youth pastor energy away from the team entirely. He's left so as not to be a distraction. He has played his last snap for the Las Vegas Raiders. The immortal Jarrett Stidham, a teacher's pet of Josh McDaniels, is back in the Patriots days. He's going to start. I'm not sure this line could possibly. If you told me this was Niners 50, I might still take the Niners. You're telling me it's 10. I think that's what we wound up on, right? It went up from 6 to 10.
Yeah.
I assume you were going to give those points.
I am going to give those points. Jarrett Stidham is the name of our old surgeon. Like it's not a quarterback. Like Jarrett Stidham is like a Las Vegas golf pro. Like this is getting absurd. At least like they could have picked a guy with a cool name. You know what I mean? Like Mitch Dragon or something, or like find somebody cool. Like
that's Mitch Dragon. Actually, I play a lot of NBA 2K with Jarrett Stidham. Mitch Dragon is actually his build-a-player name. Higher
QB rating, and Derek Carr. Like I just want to say, he left like an asymmetrical cross, and he wasn't trying to be like he's a devout Christian. It's just he loves the crow, and he drew and he left it on everybody's locker room, and they've been trying to get it off the whole week. It's his eyeliner stuff that he wears. It's weird.
Oh man, he wrote it in eyeliner. So let's just also take a second like I know on this show, on the podcast, I often defend Josh McDaniels, and there are a lot of people who just love it and want to see him fail. And okay, I'm not sure. Maybe the evidence isn't so great for Josh McDaniels yet. But the people like faking outrage, getting on ESPN Airways and screaming,
like
some linebacker
yeah.
was screaming in my face about how Derek Carr's been done wrong. And I'm like, I mean, two things can be true. Yeah. McDaniels could be bad and Derek Carr still not be the quarterback of the future. Like, good luck, Jets, when you have Derek Carr. Good luck, Lions, when you have Derek Carr. Like, Colts, I think he's actually at Irsay's house right now. I mean, like, it's been years and years and years of this, of people propping up Derek Carr. He stinks. He's not the worst. He's the 20th best quarterback in the league. Like, it's just,
he's the
just
Carr
what
line.
he is.
He's the Carr line. He's the Dalton line. He's the
But
the
you can't win. Like, people get so excited about Ryan Tannehill because he has the number 1 seat. You're not going to win with Ryan Tannehill. Mm-hmm. You're not going to win with Andy Dalton. You're not going to win with Jared Goff. Like, if that's what your team needs to do to, like, placehold, like they're doing, like Lions are doing with
Foles. You need Nick Foles, guys. It's like,
yeah. So anyway, I can't believe it. Was it Emmanuel Acho? I don't know who was yelling at me.
He's bad
from ESPN. Yeah. I just, boy, you really had to work up some fake outrage for that one. Okay, the Jets. They are not going to use Zach Wilson. I dare say ever again. And they're going to Seattle. They will have Mike White at quarterback. The Jets on the road are a 1.5 favorite.
It's weird, like, that my capacity as a human, like, I didn't even feel bad for Zach Wilson, even when they were showing him.
Know.
Like, I wanted to feel bad, and then he's like too good looking, and I was just like, no, don't feel bad for you. It's crazy that these two shades of green would meet. Like, it's kind of depressing, like, that these were the two things on the Pantone. The Jets were early in the game, and that's what they got. Pete Carroll has a stronger jaw than muscles than Robert Salah because of all the gum. 30 years of gum chewing. But the Jets are the better team. The Seahawks kind of stink lately. Just on the low. Like, they kind of stink lately. I think the Jets are better. So, yeah, I'm giving the points.
It's so tough, man. I had a really hard time with this one. I said it should have been even. Yeah. It's hard for me to say that Jets team should be favored on the road. I come down to that a lot. Like, if this had been even, I would have been like, okay, that feels about right. Neutral field, the Jets are a little better. Maybe you're right. I might just be overestimating the Seahawks and Jets.
What if they care more?
Well, it's an elimination game for both of them, so I would think it's going to be a tie, right? Probably.
Yeah.
Because they probably care equally. But I guess I'm on Seattle, just hoping for the Jets 1-point win or something. I don't know. Suddenly the Packers are the
dangerous
rat
team
in the kitchen that nobody can kill.
Yes.
Like, I don't think they looked like a playoff team through much of that Dolphin game, but with a concussed Tua and with the Miami defense kind of low-key pooping themselves, the Packers win. It feels like now the Packers kind of have control of their own destiny. They're hosting the Vikings. They're 3-point favorites against the team that's killing them in the division. But it's the Vikings, and it's the Vikings who keep winning every game late and close, and so nobody really believes in them.
Yeah, there's this, like, not that I care, but like Packers and Vikings Twitter apparently had like a complete battle today based on the fact that this one Packers writer was like, what do the Vikings do well? Why are they so good? They don't do anything well because they're ranked 17th, 24th and everything. And this other guy was like, win games, And I guess that's true. I've been fading this Minnesota team a lot lately, and it hasn't worked for me. I'm going to take the points. I can't call this game. So I'm going to take the points. I
nailed the line, and I'm kind of relieved that I nailed the line, so I can just kind of stay away. I am going to stay away from. I don't think it's a value, no matter which way you look at it. I don't think it's a value because the Vikings aren't likely to blow anybody out. I mean, they don't, and rarely can you point to times on good teams in NFL history where it feels like the wide receiver is the one that just picks the entire team up by the scruff of their neck and says, we're not going to lose. Justin Jefferson seems to do it every single week. He certainly did it last week against the Giants. A couple of unbelievable catches over the middle. I hope people
ridiculous.
got to, at least to see highlights because the guy's the best receiver in the league. They know it's coming. He's double teamed. He still gets open. It's Kirk Cousins throwing him the ball. He's not good either. He's not winning a Super Bowl either. You are fooling yourself if you think Kirk Cousins is the guy. There's a whole raft of guys like that, and Cousins certainly one of them, and yet Jefferson, amazing. But I don't trust the Vikings. I don't. I was on the Giants last week. It was
they're
right.
not that good.
You know,
Yeah.
they're not that good. So I'm a no play on that one. We go to the rescheduled Sunday night game. We all get to watch a 9-6 game between the Ravens and the Steelers. As of our recording this, it doesn't sound like Lamar Jackson is particularly close to returning. And I think you'd probably agree the line reflects that. Like I think the line that we have right now is Ravens -3. It feels like if Lamar were there, it would probably be more.
It'd be past 5. It'd be like 5.5 or 6. Yeah. I'm gonna go to the Ravens based on just I think the defense is good. They're at home. Pickett. It's not too big. If this was 3.5, I might go away from it. You know, but I'll take it.
Yeah. It's not a ridiculous line at all. 3 is fine as of recording this. I said it at 4, so I'm with you. I'll be on the Ravens here, but not feel like it's incredible value. My question, if you're talking about motivation, do the Ravens seem to be sitting a lot of guys because they're kind of are where they are in the playoffs.
They're locked in. Yeah.
They're sort of locked in. And so, J.K. Dobbins got like 2 carries at the start of the third quarter, and we never saw him again in that game. Mm-hmm. And that's the second week in a row where he didn't play in the second half. And John Harbaugh says, no, we're not. Nobody's on a snap count, but he says that because he's a total liar. Yeah. Because it's clear that he's on a snap count, and I feel like a bunch of the guys are. They have no wide receivers. Like this is not a game to not a game to feel great about. All right, we saved the best for last. The NFL saved the best for last. The Monday night game is the best it's been maybe all year, but certainly in the past couple of months. Poor Buck and Aikman having to pretend to care about these terrible games that they've been on. But finally, it's the Bills, it's the Bengals. The Chiefs also are involved in this, right? Mm-hmm. But these are 3 division winners, and they're still all battling to get a bye. They're all battling to get home field against each other. It's going to be really fun. I'm really looking forward to it. On the road, the Bills are a 1-point favorite.
This one's really good. This is like you said. This is great. I'm going with Buffalo. I just think they have the edge and experience and coaching, and I know that's goofy, but I think this is going to come down to. I think this line is good. I think it's going to come down to tight decisions. I just trust that team more in tight spots so far. So
I said it at 2, so I don't want to say like I think it's crazy, but I'm also on the Bills. 2 quarterbacks who have a lot of will.
Yeah.
They have a lot of talent, and they back it up with a lot of like we're not going to lose. Like the Bengals aren't 7 in a row, they've been on a hot streak.
Yeah.
And they are good. I've said it over and over, and it really, really reared its head against the Patriots. They should have lost to the Patriots. Obviously, Ramondre Stevenson fumbles inside the 10-yard line. The issue is the offensive line. It's not Tampa level destruction. It's not terrible, but like ask Joe Mixon why he's having a much worse year this year than last year, and it's entirely
hit
because
by the line.
Yeah, like again and again, and Joe Burrow's been absolute nails, taking an absolute beating, but in the second half, the Patriots figured something out and got all over them. And this is going to wind up being, I think, the Bengals' fatal flaw, why they don't go back to the Super Bowl. And, as they say, these teams could meet again. I'm going to be on the Bills on the road. It is time for all of you out there to pick your best bet and tell us down in the comments, and we'll pick someone who gets it right and mention them next week. And it's Jim's turn to be correct in his best bet of the week.
I'm going with the mustachioed man, Gardner Minshew, the Eagles, giving the points. Yep.
I also picked the Eagles. Have we done that? Probably a couple times we have, but not recently.
Yeah.
It makes everybody who's watching go, oh my God, bet the mortgage on the fleur de lis on the Saints, because to get together the wrongness, the multiplied wrongness.
It's true.
Feels like who wants it between you and me? Who wants it more this week? That's what I want.
I want it more because the Eagles have the Saints draft pick, so I want it more. So.
Okay, but the good thing is that you wanting it more in this case also helps me, so I'm actually okay with that.
They stopped taking my calls though, so it depends if anybody is listening. So.
Really, the Eagles aren't taking your calls anymore?
Week 4 is when they got the do not call anymore. So.
All right. You're on the no-fly list, buddy.
Yep.
All right. Well, this was very fun. I hope you all enjoyed it. We did as well. And Dave Pyper, from the sound of it, enjoyed it in our ears too. We appreciate it. We appreciate DraftKings very much for sponsoring. If you'd like to get that DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the code HarrisTube. Make that $5 bet. You'll get $150 in free bets if you pick a winning team. That helps this happen again next year. We really do appreciate DraftKings for doing this. And Jim, I appreciate you. Dave Pyper, I appreciate you. And frankly, I appreciate my own patience and tolerance for the nonsense that was flinging at me through the screen in this particular show. Not really. For Jim, for Dave, I'm Chris. Smash the like button. Thank you very much for watching. Bye. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button. Write a comment. Tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on. And of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.